Hi dear Aries, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of March. This year, March should be quite hectic and busy because of the lunar eclipse in Libra, and this is significant for you guys because it's in your opposite sign. Okay, but I'm gonna get there. So first of all, happy birthday to March Aries. I hope you guys have a wonderful birthday. Celebrate your birthday, celebrate life. Okay, and this year you guys have an eclipse year, so a lot of things are happening in your life. Okay, so do embrace them, do go out and achieve things and start new things. Okay, I wish you guys all the best. So let's begin. The month of March is gonna start quietly, but don't be deluded by it because it's like the quiet before the storm. The month before the eclipse is usually always energetically hectic, like energetically intense and hectic. What I'm trying to say is on March 3rd, we have the last quarter moon in Sagittarius, and this means that we are 1 week away from a new moon. And so that means the moon is becoming smaller, and thus things are consequently like coming to an end with the things. I mean, the things that started with the previous new moon. Sorry if I'm like, blah, I apologize. So yeah, use this time, the period after March 3rd until like March 6th, I would say, to wrap things up that started with the previous new moon. Or start getting ready for the upcoming new moon. And what I mean by that is that, like, make an appointment, fill out an application, mail the things that need to be mailed, so that by the time of the new moon, you can get the decisions, you can go to that appointment. Okay, so the period from March 3rd until like March 6th is perfect for that. And also it's good for recharging your batteries. Rest. Okay, don't feel guilty if you don't feel like doing anything during that period, because it's naturally the time to like recharge your batteries, especially with the upcoming lunar eclipse. It is especially advised to rest during that period. So after that, we're gonna have quiet days, like at least like astrology wise, after March 3rd until like March 9th. That's when like Mercury enters Aries until May 15th. And as you can see, this is an unusually long time for Mercury to be in a sign. Usually Mercury sprints through a sign in like mere 3 weeks, but this time it's gonna spend almost like 3 months. Yeah, slightly more than 2 months in the sign of Aries, and that is because of Mercury retrograde. But that's going to be in April, so I'm going to talk more about that later. But still, we cannot fully ignore the upcoming Mercury retrograde in March, because Mercury is going to enter its shadow period on March 18th. And what does that mean? And that means, like, Mercury is going to reach the 27th degree and stop and turn retrograde, and it's going to come to this spot and turn direct. So what I mean by March 18th is that Mercury is going to reach this point and cross it and then eventually come back. So that means Mercury shenanigans are going to start after March 18th. So if you need to sign contracts, make agreements, or make major decisions, make major purchases, try to do that in the first half of March, because if you do those after March 18th, it might not go as smoothly. You might have to change your mind later on. Okay, that is especially so after Mercury turns retrograde, but still, when Mercury enters the shadow zone, it's still not advised. And then, so on March 10th, we have a new moon in Pisces on the 20th degree of Pisces. And this new moon, the luminaries will be loosely sandwiched between Saturn and Neptune. Neptune is in the late degrees of Pisces, and Saturn is in like the early degrees of Pisces, and the luminary is somewhere between them. And so you can start expecting news, announcements, decisions 4 days before this new moon, which means you can start expecting news, announcements, decisions after March 6th. Okay, and so what does this mean for you guys, for you Aries? 12th house is a house of secrets. It's the most isolated part of our charts. This is the house of like spirituality, going within, like meditation, letting things go. It's the house of our subconscious. So lots of vague things, and all of them are like stored in our 12th house, the things that we don't want to deal with, or the things that we don't understand. It's like a very foggy house. And so what this new moon might mean is that a secret might be revealed, or it might be the time when you yeah, like a secret is a thing that keeps coming to my mind. um, because when I had the eclipses going in my 12 happening in my 12th house, that's when like I found some huge secret, and it really bothered me. But this is a regular new moon, so it shouldn't be something that's going to turn your life upside down. It might be like some mini secret. I don't know. And also, this might be the time when some Aries might need some recuperation time. Because 12th house is the opposite of the 6th house. It's the health house. So these two houses are kind of related to the health. And also, like, this is a time of going within, okay? Don't expect March to be the time when, like, especially the first half of March, to be the time when you're, like, the center of attention. And so, this new moon does not make a lot of aspects, and the only aspect that it does make is a sextile to Uranus, and this is good news, because it's like a supportive aspect. Sextile is support, opportunity, and because it's Uranus, it's like sudden, like unexpected, and not in a bad way, in a good way. Maybe let's say you need something, and like out of nowhere you get that help. It's like that kind of, in that kind of way. And also another thing I need to mention is, this is the last new moon before the solar eclipse in Aries, and sometimes the thing is, the events associated with that solar eclipse might play out a month before. So for some Aries, the things that need to happen during that solar eclipse might play out around this new moon actually. So yeah, you can expect some things, I guess, some changes, some big changes. And not necessarily in a bad way, like some unexpected change, some achievement, some new start, okay? So after that, on March 11th, Venus is gonna enter Pisces. So now, as you can see, like you have almost 5 planets. I mean, Moon is gonna leave Pisces shortly after that, but still, your 12th house is quite crowded. So you'll be looking within. Don't try to be out and about, be the extroverted usual yourself, but still. So March 19th, Sun enters Aries, spring equinox, yay, in the northern hemisphere. Finally, spring, the day and night equal, and the Sun enters its sign of exaltation, and so Aries season begins. Next. Yeah, on March 22nd, Mars is going to enter Pisces until April 30th. Dear Aries, this is your ruling planet, Mars, and it's going to enter that house of like isolation, secrecy, looking within, spirituality, and you have so many planets in there, 5 planets. Yeah, so it's like a very spiritual time, like an introverted time. Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention, 12th house is the furthest house from our first house, from our house of self. So imagine the Sun had been traveling through the zodiac since your last birthday, and now when it's almost there, when it's almost about to enter your first house, this is when the Sun is, figuratively speaking, exhausted for you. And so this might be the time when you feel extra tired, okay? So do be gentle with yourself. Aries, I know you guys are energetic, but with this Mars in Pisces, you might feel like not so energetic. And so the thing about Mars is, like, wherever it is, it tends to like energize things, like stir things up. And since this is a house of subconscious, it might stir things up subconsciously. You might have more dreams, or you might feel like exploring like the deep-seated secrets that you have in your mind, like the subconscious side of your mind, okay? Yes, and so after that, finally, at the end of March, on March 25th, we have a lunar eclipse in Libra, on the 5th degree of Libra. And so those Aries who were born on March 25th, that means you're gonna have this lunar eclipse in your solar return chart, which means it's gonna be active for you for until your next birthday, basically. And so, what does it mean when you have a lunar eclipse on your birthday? That means it's gonna be quite an eventful year, because full moon lunar eclipse is the time of culmination, illumination, clarity, achievement. Okay, and so those themes will be prominent for you in that year. So let's say for some areas, culmination might be in terms of relationships. Some areas might decide to end the relationship they were in. Some areas might decide to commit. So now they're not single anymore. Now they're like someone in a relationship. Or for others, it might be that they were like in a relationship, but after this eclipse, now they're like engaged. Or for some, it might be that they were engaged and now they're married. I'm not saying you guys are going to get married around this eclipse right away, but still, like the eclipse is going to trigger that. And so, yeah, after that, you are more likely to get married and stuff. For some years, it might be the time when they, move to a new place, because moon rules your fourth house, the house of residence. But I mean, for all Aries in general, this lunar eclipse is very much about relationships for you, because the sun will be in your house of self, in your first house, and the moon will be in your house of relationships. So yeah, culminations, illuminations, clarity, achievement around your relationships. Yeah, so some Aries might get married, some might get engaged, some might get divorced, some might break up, some might find out that they're pregnant, others might become parents, so lots of possibilities. And so basically the thing about eclipses is that it's the point where it's like before and after, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's like a milestone period. Yeah, and the last time we had eclipses in our sign was back in 2005 and 2006. That's when the North Node was in Aries last time. So try to remember what happened to you back then. And also, another time we had eclipses in Aries and Libra was back in 2014 and 15. So again, do try to remember what happened then. I'm sure it was about like relationships, yourself and stuff. But like in 2014 and 15, the North Node was in Libra. Okay, so the focus was more on relationships, not yourself. You had to probably sacrifice things for the sake of relationships because the South Node was in your sign. But this time the North Node is in your sign, so yeah, you can put yourself first, so to speak. Your partner will be the one sacrificing for you, okay, putting you first, so to speak. Yeah, and also I made a video about the North Node in Aries back in the summer of 2023, last summer, and in that video I mentioned the list of Aries celebrities and what happened to them during the years when they had eclipses in their signs, and they were quite busy. So like, let me remind you about some of them. So remember Heath Ledger? He was still alive back in 2005 and 2006. And he was in like 4 movies in 2005, and a lot of them were successful. He won awards and stuff. Brokeback Mountain, I think, came out in 2005. Yeah, so he was quite a star that year. He also became a parent that year. So Aries, you can see what kind of year it is for you guys this year. And for other Aries, like let's say Mariah Carey, that was the year, 2005 was the year when she released an album that re-established her as like one of the most prominent pop stars. Because before 2005, she was kind of like a fading star, with her peak being in the 90s, and people were starting to forget her. But like when she released that album in 2005, everyone was like, "Oh, what? Yeah, like Mariah, we forgot about her. Yeah, she's the best." Something like that. Also, Celine Dion, she was doing Las Vegas residency, and it was so successful that they had to extend it. So yeah, Aries, you can see what kind of year it is. Dear Aries, I hope you guys have a wonderful March, despite it being hectic and busy. I'm being honest with you guys, it will be busy, so do get ready. You will calm down, like things will calm down, you will find peace again in May. So until then, embrace the changes, be open to it. So yeah, I mean, you guys are Aries, you'll be fine, you are brave, you are not afraid of changes, so do enjoy it. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in my April video. Bye.